There's still a very limited amount of information out there surrounding EA Sports FC. We are just around the corner from the official announcement date, but with that said, we still have quite a lot of information based around different types of features and new mechanics and new implementations. But with all of that, there is one which stands out over the rest. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing everything that you need to know. But before we do get into the video, if you're still going through FIFA 23 and you really want to take advantage of the times, then there is no better place than SkyCoach. SkyCoach offers cheap, fast and reliable FIFA 23 coins so that you can spend less time grinding and more time having fun. The really cool part at this time of the year is that player prices are at an all-time low and they're still getting lower. So you can purchase FIFA 23 coins and get twice as much as what you were able to do before. To make this deal even better, if you use the link in the description down below and use code FANATIC at checkout, you'll also get a 10% discount.
Nice.
The game mode in which we're going to be talking about today is called FUT Academy. And if you are someone that does enjoy the challenge and the grind, this is going to be perfect for you. The basic premise is that you would be gifted a player. And the idea is that you will then complete challenges with that player, and eventually once you complete them, you will be able to increase their stats and their overall rating. Now that in itself might sound pretty basic, especially considering we already have something similar available within Ultimate Team. You've likely seen the objectives where you'll need to complete a challenge and then that will gift you a specific player. You can then play with that player in your team, either getting assists, goals, or a certain amount of games played, and eventually you'll unlock a higher version and a higher rating of that exact same card. You will then use that new card and do the exact same thing again, playing a certain amount of games, scoring a certain amount of goals, getting a certain amount of assists until you get to the highest possible version. This recently has been quite big with icons, but we've had this for a few years. So this system as a whole is not really new, but it is different. The issue with the current system is that right now you are going through the exact same thing as everyone else. And it is time-based. You would need to go and complete these challenges over the next couple of weeks, potentially the next month, maybe the full season, which is around about 46, 50 days. And typically the players that you get, they're not always great. But the big issue is that even if you're able to go through all of this, which isn't that hard, it's just whether or not you want to commit to this, you're ultimately going to have the exact same player as everyone else. There is nothing that sets you apart from someone else. This is where FUT Academy goes down a different direction. Just take a look at what NBA 2K has. There is a player progression system. With each player that you get, you're able to complete a variety of different challenges. Once you complete those challenges, you can then get a better version of the exact same card. Not a new card, it's just upgraded. And eventually, you'll just keep on upgrading this. Some players will only have 1 or 2 evolutions, whereas others will have considerably more. Once you do upgrade them, you're going to have a much better, well-rounded card with increased stats, making it a lot easier to score goals, to defend, to do whatever it is that that player is pretty much known for. But this is also where there could be a slight twist. And this also links into a system that EA implemented throughout FIFA 23. This is the preferred position and the alternative position. Now with this one, I should say that this is more rumors than anything else. We still haven't had any credible sources to say that it's going to be working out this way, but it is still an interesting topic to talk about. For some of the evolutions that people are looking for as you upgrade these players to their higher rated version of cards, some have speculated that with this, you'll also be able to choose different directions. What I mean by this is, let's say that there's a midfielder. By default, they're a center mid, but they have well-rounded stats that they can either play a bit further forward as a cam or even maybe slightly more defensive as a CDM. Once you claim that first version of the card, go through the requirements and complete those objectives, you get to your first evolution. And it's at that point in which some players would like the idea of a choice, whether or not you want that player that you have to be more attacking, in which you go down the attacking path, and once you complete the consecutive upgrades and objectives for those evolutions, you will then have an increase within shooting, passing, potentially dribbling. Maybe you're looking for pace as well. Stats that are going to be a key benefit to an attacking player. But on the other hand, if you decide to go down that more defensive route with a specific type of player, you may have an increase within physicality and also defending to make them a better overall defending midfielder. And yet again, linking this back to what EA have done in the past, they have done similar events like this, where after completing an SBC or an objective, you have a choice of the exact same player, but they're two different cards, either it being two different positions or having different weak foot stats or skill move stats. Maybe it could just be two completely different card designs. It's not new stuff, but with the new Academy system, it becomes a lot cleaner, much better. Not just about completing SBCs and objectives as in the actual game itself, but for the players themselves. So if you have a player which you just love to use, maybe they're part of the team that you support, even though they are not currently the highest rated card within game, you can eventually build them up to be something a bit better. In my eyes, I think that this could be something which opens a whole new door to there being overpowered players or hidden gems, because no longer is it just about seeing a card and deciding, oh, I'm going to buy them because they have a high amount of pace, and pace is overpowered within FUT. Because now it may be the case where you look at a basic default card and think they're probably not going to fit the meta of Ultimate Team, only to understand that the evolution a lot later has much better pace stats or much better shooting stats or whatever it may be, and that ends up fitting the meta of Ultimate Team. But in order for you to get to that level, you need to put in the time. You need to be going through, completing the objectives with players, and ultimately upgrading them. With this, there is a slight catch though. When I first heard about FUT Academy and started reading up upon it, it did sound like it was going to be a promo. A promo right at the beginning, very similar to what we have with One to Watch, or maybe something that starts at the beginning of every season. These cards will be added to the game in which you can then go and claim one of them and then start to upgrade them. But as more and more information has come out, there's been loads of credible sources which say that this could be applied to any player. Not every player, but any player above a certain rating, because having something like this for a bronze or silver player may not really be useful. But having something like this for all rare gold players above 83 rated, as well as certain special cards once they release, it makes more sense because those are the players that are going to be used. So the player system on how these players get selected and how you upgrade them still isn't 100% known. But there have been other people that talk about how you can get tradable versions. So the idea is that you could go and buy someone off the transfer market and then go through their stats, go through the objectives, score a certain amount of goals, get a certain amount of assists, play a certain amount of games, whatever it may be. And when I first heard that, my thought process was that I could get some of the cheaper players and then just keep on upgrading them, eventually getting them to their highest possible rating and then sell them back onto the transfer market. Unfortunately, according to leaks, you can't do that. The second that these cards get upgraded, they will become untradeable, which is somewhat expected. But it's likely that SBCs will still be part of Ultimate Team. It's a very popular game mode, so there's still a good chance that you would be able to upgrade these players, and now you can class them as fodder. Go and put them into SBCs, complete some of the challenges, and hopefully get something a bit better as a player, which you can then upgrade even further with this FUT Academy, or even try and get something tradable which you could then sell on. And that's the cool thing with this system. It's nothing groundbreaking as we've gone through already. This is nothing new. It's just a different way to do things. But just going through the potential that we've talked about within this video, there's so many different directions that EA could take this in. And I'm hoping that some of these are actually implemented throughout the year. Doesn't necessarily need to be on day one of release, but if we were to get players like this every season, or things were to change slightly throughout the year of EA Sports FC, and you can change players to be slightly more defensive, slightly more attacking, there would be much more freedom within Ultimate Team to honestly build your Ultimate Team. You may keep on going to games and keep on coming up against the exact same players over and over again, but each player could be different based on the stats with the evolution that that person has upgraded that card and a direction in which they ultimately wanted to take them in. And this does add a whole new level to FUT. And so far, when people have talked about FUT Academy, as well as going through these mastery objectives, this is what people seem to be more excited about out of all other leaks. But with all of this, we're just waiting for EA to confirm this as a gameplay feature and give us more information of exactly how this works. If you've got any opinions on this, then please let us know in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to see ya.